What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be showing you how to LS swap one of these single cab trucks, the 9902 style. So without further ado, I'm going to start pulling this V6 and we're going to start throwing that V8 in, hopefully get this thing running. And I'm going to show you how to on some stuff so you can do this stuff yourself. So here we go. Alright guys, so only thing I've done so far is remove the throttle body and about to disconnect these throttle lines right here, throttle cable, and then I just took the exhaust off. Here's the exhaust right here. Just make things easier because we're putting headers on it anyways. And now I'm going to loosen the trans all up, and then once I get the trans loosened up, I'll take these motor mounts loose and start cutting lines that I don't need. Actually, I'll probably have to use these power steering lines, so I'll probably just break them off right there. But this lower radiator hose I'm not going to be reusing, so I'll probably take that out, and then it would just pull it straight out. I've already cut the harness because there's no need for this V6 harness, so went ahead and cut it. And yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and start loosening up the trans bolts. There's the big old hole in the block right there. I can't wait to show you all that once I get it out. But there's trans bolts that go all the way up the side, and then up the other side, and then I think there's one or two up top, and then I'll be able to pull it out. And sometimes these right here are glued in to the neutral safety switch. These connectors right here, might be able to get them out. Oh yeah, I got it out. So most of the time they're really hard to get out. But when you don't care about the harness, you can just pull from the wires. All right, got those loose. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna start loosening up these trans bolts and pull them all out, and then I'll do the engine mount bolts, and I'll start showing you all what's going on then, because I don't know, pulling the V6 isn't as interesting as putting the V8 in. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and I'll show you guys when I'm done. All right, boys, made a little progress. Thanks to this guy right here. I'm up the road. I'll plug his get this shit out, bro.
You going up?
Yep. Firewall on it. Good. You clear now?
Power now?
This is ground wheel truck. This is ground out there.
You going up?
Yep. Yeah, it's everything, bro. I think everything's, yeah, everything's fine. Awesome.
Alright. Get an old tire?
Do what?
Get an old tire?
Yeah, I got one over here. I just didn't want to leave the motor in the middle of my driveway. Look at that. God dang. Jack, come over here and look at this. Holy. Look at that.
Should have blown this up.
Should run. Should run, bro. Should start.
It adds 15 horsepower weight reduction.
It's all free, right? Everything's free. And there we go, fellas. It is now a roller that has made a big mess in my driveway. So I'm gonna go get some floor dry for it. But homeboy that just came by, this is his Instagram right here. Let me, I'll plug his Instagram on the video. I'll put it right here. But yeah, so tomorrow I've got to go get some frame mounts, because the V8 won't bolt up to these ones, because this is the V6 ones. So we're gonna get the V8 ones, and then we should be good to go ahead and put the 5.3 in here. So all right, catch you guys tomorrow when we're going to the junkyard to go get some parts. Peace. All right, fellas, it's the next day. I just came out to the junkyard, and these are some mounts off of a V8 truck right here. Thought I unscrewed them all the way, I guess. There we go. Alright, bolts. And these are what I needed right here. Right there. Those two are the things that I needed. So, time to go back home, throw them on, and throw this V8 in the truck. Here we go. Alright, fellas, just made it back home. Alright, I've got these crusty motor mounts that are going in. So, they literally just come in here and set down like that. Sit down just like that. And you'll put the bolt through them. Oh, probably be easier if I got in the engine bay. Okay. Down here. Slide it in. Just like that. And the other one too. This trans line's kind of in my way. There we go. And I'll thread those in, and those will make the V8 fit. And then I've got to pull this one out too. And there's the V8 one's bigger on that side as well. So I'll go grab that, and I'll put that in the same way, and I'll show you after. All right, fellas, so I got these mounts in, and I pulled the trans out without pulling that cross member off, because the engine was already out, so it just slid right forward. I only pulled this thing out because whenever we pulled the engine out, the trans started leaking out, because the trans mount on the back of it broke, and when it started pouring out, that the trans fluid looked burnt as heck, and I put my finger on it, you know, I smelled it, and it was pretty burnt. So I think we'll just pull the 60 out of the extended cab, the transmission, because it was taking quite a beating. So we're just gonna put the one out of the extended cab in this, and then when the extended cab gets ready, we'll probably throw that in it. So yeah, I guess I'm gonna go ahead and pull the one out of the extended cab, and then we'll go ahead and bolt it up to the 5.3, and we'll put it all in at once, because it should be easier that way. So I'm gonna show y'all this process as we go along. I'm gonna drag this thing over there to the backyard next to the V6 over there with all the mess. So here we go. Got my boy Chris out here. His clean truck. Oh shit. I'm lifting the whole thing. Oh, it's leaning. It'll be better when we put the trans on though.
Too much horsepower weight.
Too much horsepower. That's why it's leaning. Alright. So we got the transmission out of the white truck back there. It's right here. So we're about to put it on this 5.3, so we don't have to worry about it. All right, we got the motor and trans together now. Now we've just got to get the torque converter bolted to the flex plate. Then we can start putting her in. Hopefully I have enough time. All right, guys. We got the engine and trans in. Here it is. Looking all good in there. Damn, LS swapped, huh? Is LS swapped now, cuh?
She came up.
All right, welcome back. Finally, it's actually been, it's been about 2 weeks since I was able to work on this thing last. I came out here yesterday and I worked on this truck. So I put the V8 engine harness in. I did it off camera. I know I shouldn't have, but I just did. So basically this fuse box right here, it comes up and there's a little 7mm bolt that holds this harness on to the bottom, and then there's 2 plugs down there that the harness stays plugged into. So you literally just, you know what, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys what I did, because I don't want you guys out of the loop here, because I decided to do things off camera. So let me get this off real quick and I'll show you. Okay, so this literally, it's held down by a screw here and a screw over here. Get this out the way. And then it just lifts up. So I unplugged this purple one and I unplugged this blue one right here. Not this one, this one. And then you get a 7mm bolt and you unbolt this one right here on this middle one, this bigger one right here in the middle. And that goes to your engine harness. That's your engine harness. So the V6 engine harness was connected right here, and then on these 2 right here, and then, you know, it was connected to the computer. And so I pulled all that out. Here's the V6. Here's the V6 computer. That's just a spare fuse box that I had. Here's what I pulled off the motor right here. Yeah, so it just unplugged from the computer. It was also 2 7mm bolts, and then here's that blue one and that purple one I just showed you guys. And yeah, and there's that bigger middle one right there. So the V8 one literally just plugs in the exact way that the V6 one came out. So this is a V8 computer. I just left this harness plugged into it, and then you know, I bolted it onto the bottom right there, and then plugged these connectors in, and that was all that it took to put the V8 harness onto the fuse box here. So let me tighten these back down, and then we'll get started on laying this harness out. So before I ran the harness, on this motor, I went ahead and lifted it up so I could plug the transmission lines in up there. So I got those connected up now. Now I'm gonna go ahead and throw this passenger side header on, and then I'll throw the driver's side header on as well. So I'm gonna go grab that and set y'all up. I can't even set y'all up while I'm putting this header in, but y'all know how it goes. I'm gonna throw this header on real quick and show y'all after. And there we go, just like that. Got that passenger side header on. I had to go from under, had to raise the vehicle, had to raise the truck up a little bit, and just slide it right through there. And I don't think that it's touching the trans line, but it may be. I'll check that before I start driving it, but I'll have to probably put a heat shield around the trans line. I've done that before. So I'm gonna go ahead and raise this side of the truck up now and put this one in. I may be able to put this one in from the top, but I believe it goes in from the bottom. So here we go. And there we go. Driver's side is on now with the cost of some blood, but that's okay. Metal, guys, just be careful when you're working with metal gaskets, because they like to cut fingers. All right, so I left this bolt out on this side because if you remember when we pulled the 5.3 apart, that was a broken bolt, so I'm not even gonna worry about it. And then there's also one that back one back there I left out because it's also broken. So now I really need to cut that fuel line and put my new AN hose on it so I can put it on the V8 rail, V8 fuel rail. I can't remember if I'm supposed to cut it right here or down here. So I'm gonna go buy the tool from the store because I don't even have a tool to cut it with, and then and then I'll cut it and I'll show you guys how I'm gonna hook up the V8 hose. Alrighty, so we got those hoses cut off now, or lines. We got the lines cut, and these are our fittings right here. This is the smaller one. Here's the bigger one right here. It's literally just gonna slide over it like that, and then I'll tighten it into place. I'll tighten this down because there's a what do you call it? It's like a crush washer in here. Just show y'all real quick. Can't remember what that fitting's called, but it crushes whenever you tighten it. So that's what I'm putting on. That's what I was going to be putting on the feed and the return lines, but my return line is not circular, and I tried bending it, making it circular, but I can't, and I don't want to cut any lower because I'm just getting too low down there. So I went and bought some hose, and I'm just gonna put some hose on it because that's what I did. That's what I did in my extended cab. It's been like that for a while, so I'm just gonna put some hose over it, hose clamp it, and then cut it to how I need it. But the feed will be legit though. It'll have these Earls fittings on it with an AN line connecting to the fuel rail with another one of these on the fuel rail. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that on and see how it all fits up. So I've got these thrown on now. I've got this hose on here on the return line, and I've got that this AN line, this AN fitting, waiting for my feed line. I'll connect that to the intake when I'm putting it on. So this is my transmission harness right here. Hooks directly to the trans, neutral safety switches right there, and speed sensor. So I'm gonna run this back over. Get these untangled. Sorry, it's freaking. There's glue on this one, so it's sticking to everything. There we go. Okay. So I'm gonna run this back behind the firewall right here and pull it through from under. And yeah, I'm gonna go pull this through under the truck, and I'll show you guys once I've done that. All right, guys. So I ran the trans harness under there. I've got the trans harness all plugged in back there. I've got the O2s already ran. I haven't plugged them in yet, but I've got them in the place where they need to be. So now I've gone ahead and plugged in this oil pressure sensor and this what is this? The cam position sensor. So now I've got to just connect this ground real quick to right here, and then start putting more stuff on. I've got another ground I've got to run off of this. These are the injectors, and then the coil pack. I've got to connect that ground there as well. And I mean, we're getting close. This is this stuff runs along the firewall here. This is your mass airflow sensor, and yeah, here's the mass airflow sensor. I believe one of these may be the throttle body. I don't think so. So yeah, let's just keep running this stuff, and I'm gonna go grab the coil packs real quick, throw them on, so I can start plugging stuff in. All right, I found my 10mm. So get this stuff out the way. Got this coil pack on. Cool pack, dude. Right there. Okay, put the other one on the other side now. Okay. Bolt and another bolt. Hey, my gun. All right, cool packs are on. All right, guys, so we got the intake on. What we did, you know, I plugged in all the oil pressure sensor, cam sensor, and then we slid this thing on. After I put these, I also put this crossover, the coolant crossover on. And now I'm gonna connect the throttle cable and the I believe this is cruise control cable. And you don't have to change anything. You don't have to change anything. You don't have to change the cable or anything. You can just put it right there on the factory bracket. The V6 cable will work for the V8 is what I'm trying to say. Got it out of those brackets. Now it'll just plug right in. It looks ugly right now, but I'm gonna get a bracket for it and make it look good. But yeah, then you'll connect it to the throttle body. All right, guys. So this is our positive, all our positive connections. So this goes to our starter. I'll just run it through here. It just runs under there, you know, goes to the starter. I'll keep it out the way. We'll put it over here. Get out of the way real quick. I'll run it in a second. Okay, get out of my way. So, you know, here's your alternator. It goes there. And then that won't stay on unless you bolt it down. And then here's your positive terminal and your negative terminal. And then the positive terminal connects to the ECU or the fuse box right here on the side. And that's where that goes. So that's how you run the power. I'm gonna connect this all real quick and show you what it looks like after. Alrighty, got the power cables ran. Here's my positive right here. Got it bolted there, got it bolted to the back of the alternator. I got it ran up under there to go to the starter. Haven't put the starter on yet. One thing I have to change is this injector harness. So I've just got to cut these and I've got to put the new ones on. I know I can get adapters, but I've already got a good harness I can just cut these off of and then swap these over, because these won't plug into these style injectors. It's the wrong plug. So, and then I've got to go get a throttle body. This is the wrong one. This is the one off the V6. I thought it was the V8 one, but I ended up just putting it on and realizing this doesn't even look right. So I've got to go to the junkyard, get the V8 one, but I'm leaving it on here for now because it's supposed to rain all night, so I might not be able to work on it for a couple days. So yeah, starter's left. You can see that the starter isn't down there. Maybe you can see starter isn't down there yet. Just got all the wires chilling. And then so what I've got to do just to start the motor, not to drive it or anything, because I've still got to put all these hoses on, is get the throttle body, get a battery. I have a battery, but I just got to warranty mine, and then put the starter on and put fluid in the motor, and then get VATs deleted off that computer. I'm gonna have a guy come do it. Says he can do it for 40 bucks, so I'm gonna just let him delete it, and then we should be ready to start it up. Honestly, I mean, yeah, should be good to start, and then see if it's knocking or not. And if it's not knocking, you know, put the belts on, put all the hoses on, go for a drive. So all right, catch you guys in like 5 seconds. All right, guys, so as you can see, we're almost done here. I've got a V6 throttle body on this thing right now. I'm gonna have a V8 one on here
here soon when the guy comes by to come delete VATs off the computer. Right now I'm just putting in the spark plugs, you know, getting ready to throw the wires on, and then we'll go ahead and throw the starter on, and we're gonna have to change the fuel injector harnesses like I said, and then I'll have the guy come through, and hopefully this thing will be ready to just, you know, start up. Hopefully there'll be no leaks or anything, but we'll have to see. I'm worried about this fuel line over here. It's kind of, if you come over here, it's just barely crooked on this rail right here. So I'm not sure if it's gonna leak right there or not, but I guess we'll have to see. But it really shouldn't. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and keep putting these plugs in and show you all the progress of what we're doing. All right, fellas. Oh, don't spill. Don't spill. So we've got the starter hooked up. Well, I mean, I think we've literally almost got everything hooked up except for the injectors. We've still got to change the harness, but I'm not gonna be able to start it completely until VATS is deleted. Yeah, just got to put all the oil in here, and then hopefully she'll crank over. I've literally got everything connected. We've got that battery on there. I've seen as soon as we connected the battery, the hazards turned on, so I know we're at least getting some power on the inside there. Get this oil in real quick. Oh, spilled some on the headers. That's great. Wipe it down. Some oil off of there. As you can see, we've got the spark plug wires on. The red performance wires, you know, make the truck faster. We've got this throttle body hooked up. The only thing is we don't have the, I believe this is the idle air control. I can pull it off the V6 throttle body, I believe, though. And I mean, we've literally got pretty much everything hooked up. So, I mean, I think we're ready to start it. We don't have, I mean, not start it completely, but I think we can see if it turns over now. So, let's get in here. Key on, all the stuff's lighting up. My bright's flashing. Let's see if it turns over. Hey, let's go. Let's go, baby. Now we just need VATs deleted. This thing should start right up. Hopefully. That's awesome. All right, guys. Just a couple days later now. Cleaned up the truck a little bit so I could take a picture. You know, just to flex it. Let's see here. So what we've got left before we can start this truck up is I've got to change these harnesses on the end of these injectors. Got to get an EGR block off. I was looking on Amazon, but with all the COVID-19 stuff going on, Amazon shipping ain't gonna be able to get that here for like 20 days. Yeah, do the harnesses, that block off plate, put this sensor right here in, and it should be ready to just, you know, start up real quick, see if it's running good, and then, you know, if it's running good, go ahead. I'm probably gonna remove this because I've got an E-fan in the garage. I've got a set of E-fans, and then I'll change the radiator because this one's too small for the E-fans. So what I'm gonna start doing is cutting these injector harnesses right here, and I'm gonna start wiring the new ones on. There we go. Got all the injectors plugged in. I wired them up. Here's the old ones. Like this. Just cut them right off. Put the new ones on. So now all the harnesses plugged in, and it's all I've got to do is put fluid in the transmission, and it'll be ready to start up. Alrighty, guys. So it's another day later. Check this out. So I got that EGR block off right here, and I got this sensor on my throttle body. This is the I think it might be intake air temperature, I can't remember now. And I went and got my harness. What am I saying? I went and got my computer flashed. So no more VATs, and I won't have any check engine lights. And I went ahead and just threw this on. This isn't bolted on there here by any means. So I could have a mass airflow sensor so I could go for this startup. I put oil in it. The only thing that needs to be done now is for me to put the trans dipstick in, put some trans fluid in it, and fix this whole brake line issue right here. That was a whoops. When I was cutting through this radiator hose, I cut right through that, so that's great. I'm gonna fix that though. But everything seems to work fine. I've started it before once. I'm gonna show you guys. Pretty exciting. So here we go. Grab these keys out of my pocket here. Look at that. Look at that. Yes, sir. Let's start this thing up. Just like that, guys, it's alive. That's really all it took. It's that easy. So yeah, I mean, that's how you do an LS swap on these trucks. I've got to get a belt. I've got to still run these coolant hoses and stuff, but you guys know how that stuff goes. You just use the V8 hoses, you know, lower radiator hose, upper radiator hose over here to the water pump. You know how it goes. You know how it goes, guys. So that's a wrap. That is a wrap right there. I'm so excited. I'm so excited to have a V8 single cab finally. It's always been a dream of mine. So yeah, guys, next video should be I'll show you guys after I put that on. That'll be next videos after I get all that stuff on, and then we'll go drive it around, you know, do some pulls, and maybe do an E-fan swap, because I've got some E-fans in my garage. I was just trying to show you guys, you know, cheapest way to do an LS swap on these trucks. So I'll also be adding the fan into the total cost here at the end, so stay tuned for that. Yeah, guys, I'm really excited. All I've got to do is fix that brake line and put trans fluid in it. I don't really want to let it idle without coolant going through the motor or without fluid in the trans. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate y'all watching this through, you know, seeing how it's done, seeing how I did it. I know it wasn't a perfect tutorial, but I tried to show you guys the important stuff. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching. Make sure to follow our Instagram at JackStanBuilds. That'd mean a lot to me. I post there all the time about what's going on, like what's next, what we're doing. And you know, like and subscribe. Like this video and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more content from me. So yeah, guys, thanks for watching. And I'm gonna add the prices right after I say this goodbye. So I'll see you guys later. Peace.